Hello and welcome to another edition of the wonderful world of old sheet music. I'm Nicholas Carroll, your host. Today we're going to be looking at Lady Moon, which is a reverie for piano by Harold Locke. So first, here's our artwork. We have a moon face and the clouds are positioned to make it look like a woman's hair, hence Lady Moon. A reverie is a type of piece, usually has a soft character to it, usually a lot of pedal, typically inspired by the famous composer Claude Debussy. Reverie meaning dream in French. So I did a little bit of research on Harold Locke, which you will find pretty much nothing about him, though I did discover through digging pretty deep that that is a pseudonym that someone else used. His name was Frank Gray, and he was a famous composer of what they called music comedies in the 20s, which meant they were kind of like miniature operas that were meant to be funny. So music and comedy combined to a music comedy. So those were popular at that time in the 20s. He apparently died in a pretty interesting way. That was the most interesting thing I found about him. He died in 1951 at a ASCAP convention. ASCAP, A-S-C-A-P, of course, is the American Songwriters, Composers, and Publishers Guild, basically. And it still exists today. And he was attending their convention, like he did every year. And apparently he died in the foyer of the convention. At the same time, the rest of the convention was in the main room, and they were commemorating other people who had died the previous year. So he died during the commemoration of other people who had died. So it's kind of a strange story, but that's the most interesting thing I found about him. He used the name Harold Locke, like on this piece, when he was writing pieces that were meant to be used for piano pedagogy or music education. So this piece was intended to be for a more advanced student to play at a recital, perhaps. It's copyright 1943. Like I said, it's a reverie, so it uses a lot of pedal, a lot of slower, descriptive kind of feeling. So I'll play that for you here in a second and see if it sounds the way it is described. is Lady Moon by Harold Locke. Now, when I played that, I noticed there is a lot of arpeggiated chords. That's the rolled chords, some people call them, with the squiggly line. And there's pretty much constantly those on the first half of the song. Then we have kind of a middle section that was a waltz, basically. And then we went back to kind of an A section or a repeat of the original theme. So that's the structure of it. So it is a pretty good standard piece to be teaching with, because it had that, and it had a key change during the B section, the middle section. The only thing I think is a little interesting about it, other than using the pseudonym, is that it had this kind of strange waltz section, which for a reverie is really not common. Not that there's anything wrong with waltzes, but usually reveries are not, in that kind of waltzing dance style that the middle section had more of. So perhaps I would have called it a waltz rather than a reverie, but I guess for the theme of the art in the name of it, they thought reverie was a better title. So again, here's the art. Hope you enjoyed. See you next time.